Hello, good morning students. So today we will begin with the chapter number 3, that is elements, compounds and mixture. So the first topic in your book is element. So let's begin the chapter. In standard 7 we have already discussed about element and compounds and mixtures also, I guess. So what are elements? You all know that elements are the basic constituents of all matter. Then how we are going to define element? So element is a pure substance which cannot be split up into two or more simpler substances by any physical or chemical means. No matter which method you are going to apply, you cannot split any element into simpler substances. You cannot break down. You cannot separate an element to a simpler substances. Okay, so we know that element is composed of the atoms of the same kind. Like if nitrogen is there, that means only one kind of atom is present there, that is nitrogen. Oxygen is there, then only one kind of atom is present, that is oxygen atom. So elements is made up of only one type of atom. Presently we know that 118 elements are known to us, out of which 90 elements are naturally occurring, that means it presents in the earth crust, and rest, that means 28, have been prepared artificially in laboratory. You know, in earth crust oxygen is present abundantly, means oxygen is present in the earth crust abundantly. I mean, in the earth crust oxygen is the most abundant element. Like that, the percentage of oxygen in the earth crust is 46.6%. After that, which is the second most abundant element? Silicon is the second most abundant element and the percentage is 27.7%. So these are the two most abundant element which has been found in the earth crust. So elements are what? It consists of only one kind of atom. That means if nitrogen is present, only that atom, means only nitrogen atoms are present. Then cannot be broken down into a simpler type of matter by any physical or chemical means. It can exist as either atoms or molecules. Like nitrogen is present in molecular form, right? How? Because if we write N, we know that atoms usually do not have independent existence. So that is why they combine with one another. That means one atom of nitrogen combines with other atom of nitrogen to form molecules. So nitrogen means nitrogen atom do not have independent existence. But you know that noble gases are stable components, right? Noble gases are stable elements. So that is why those gases can exist in atomic form, like argon, neon, krypton, xenon, radon. These can exist in atoms. Like you see the examples of elements. Elements are made up of tiny particles and it can be further classified into two groups, that is atoms or molecules. Whenever you see atoms or molecules, those are the examples of elements. Like atom is what you know, that it is the smallest particle of the matter of an element and has the same chemical properties of the element. What are molecules? It is made up of two or more atoms that are chemically bonded together. These things you know. Now here you see the examples, these are the examples of elements, like atoms of same element. You see copper. Copper is an element. Yes, it is an element. Why? Because same kind of atom is present all over the copper. So copper is an element. Then helium, it is also an element. Sodium, element. Then you see the molecules of same, see hydrogen and hydrogen combined together. So it is a molecule, H2. It is a molecule. And same time it is an element. Why? Because same kind of atom is present. Means hydrogen is only present. That is why it is an element. Then you see oxygen. O3 means, see, 3 oxygen atoms are there. That means O3. O3 is a ozone. O3 is ozone. So this is also an element because same kind of atom, that means same oxygen atom is present in ozone. So that is why it is also an example of element. Then you see the classification of element. On the basis of chemical and physical properties, the elements are further classified into metals, non-metals and metalloids. Metals, non-metals and metalloids you have studied in standard 7. Metal, like metal means what? Metal is having 1, 2, 3 electron in its valence shell. Non-metal is having 5, 6, 7 or 8 electron in its valence shell. And what are metalloids? Metalloids show the properties of, showing the properties of both metals and non-metals. It shows the properties both metals and non-metals. Means you can say that it is having some properties of metals and some properties of non-metals. So these are metalloids. You can see the examples of metals, non-metals and metalloids from your book. Gold, silver, copper, iron, aluminium. These are the example of metals. Then non-metal, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon. These are the example of non-metals. And then metalloids, boron, silicon, arsenic, antimony. These are the example of metalloids. So elements are pure substance which is made up of only one kind of matter, has definite properties and is the same all throughout. So this is the property of element. Now the next topic in your book is symbol of an element. So what is the chemical symbol of the element? We can say that symbol is the shorthand notation of the elements. So we can say that symbol of an element is the abbreviation of the for its full name. Usually we are having symbol of element 1 or 2 letters. Like first letter is always capital and the second one, if second letter is there, that second letter will be small letter. Usually the symbol taken from the name of the element, but sometimes the name of the sometimes the symbol taken from the Latin name of that element. Like you can see in your book that the symbol of gold is AU, capital A and small u. The Latin name of gold is aurum, AURUM. That is why the symbol of the gold is AU. Likewise, silver. Silver, the Latin name of silver is argentum. So that is why ANG. So here you can see that carbon C, calcium Ca, hydrogen H, iodine I, oxygen O, chlorine Cl. You can see that the second letter is always, if second letter is there in the symbol, that letter will be small letter, and if one letter is there, or then it is the first letter will always be capital letter. Like I told you that some symbols come from their Latin name, that is gold AU aurum, silver AG argentum, iron Fe ferrum, mercury Ag hydrogyrum. Now let's discuss about the significance of a symbol. What is the significance of these symbols? So first of all, see, we know that the symbol is a shorthand notation for its full name. So In place of writing full name, you can write its symbol. It is easy for writing any chemical reaction also. So that is why symbol is important. So what are the significance? What is the significance? First of all, it represents the name of the element. That means if you write, instead of writing its full name, like if you don't write gold, and if you write directly AU, that the second person will easily understood that you have written gold over there. So it represents name of the element. Secondly, it represents one atom of the element. Like if you write AU, that means one atom of gold is present in the chemical reaction. Okay. Then mass of the element in gram equal to its atomic mass. Okay. Like suppose if I write C, that means carbon element is present, one atom of carbon is present, and 12 gram of carbon is present. Means one atom is having 12 gram of carbon. Like calcium, 40 gram of calcium. Then oxygen, 16 gram of oxygen. And hydrogen, 1 gram of hydrogen. Chlorine also, 35.5 gram of chlorine is present. So it is the significance of a symbol. So from in the next class, we will learn about the compounds. Till now you have learned about elements and symbol. Study well in your home. Thank you.